Preparation is the first thing that we want to do. You want to make sure that you have your charts, weather plan, tide charts. You want to make sure that you have all this completed before you ever board the boat. You want to have both large scale and small scale so that you can look at long-term planning, route planning, and then you want to have a large scale chart so that you can look and see the details if you're coming in an inlet, which way you need to go. You know, are there any shoal areas along the way? You want to have some method, either online or some of the nav plotters now also have tide charts in them. You want to know what those tides are looking like for coming into the inlets, you know, when you want to leave, when you want to return. The VHF and the NOAA report that you have on the weather channels is another good resource to get both the weather report and the tide report. All these things, this is the pre-plan that you want to do before you board the boat. Once you've done this pre-planning, then the day that you're ready to depart, you want to bring these materials with you so that you have them again as reference and a way to predict and decide which way you want to go on that today's sail. Okay, and here we have the marine head. The way we use this head is, if you look to this little locker right here to the right, is through that locker is a little through hole that brings in water from the outside, from the sea. So we're going to open that up before we start using the head. Then as you look at the pump on the head, we throw that over to the wet side to get the bowl wet. Okay, just pump it 4 or 5 times. Then we go ahead and use the toilet, the head, and we don't throw any tissues in that head, so we save those for a plastic bag in the trash. After we're done, we're going to pump it 4 or 5 times wet, make sure it gets flushed down thoroughly, and then we'll throw it over to the dry side, pump it dry, and then we'll go back over our through hole and turn our through hole off. Here we have a nice little galley in this 30-foot Catalina. It has an ice box over there in the corner on our left. Nice little 2-burner gimbaled stove right here, has an oven with it, and what do you know, nice double sink with running water. And here we have our gas stove on this Catalina 30. Before we start this stove, we want to make sure we know where the fire extinguishers are at. We'll check the bilges, make sure we don't have gas sitting down the bottom of this boat, make sure it's well vented, and have air flowing through the cabin. We'll start to open up the propane tank on the stern of the boat. We'll come in, turn on the solenoid switch at the DC panel. With match in hand, we'll turn on the burner and light it. When we shut it down, it's a good idea to turn that solenoid switch off and let it empty the pipes out, turn off the knob, and if you're going to not start it again for a while, go ahead and turn your gas off on the stern of the boat. AC and DC distribution panel. The AC is taking our shore power and we bring it on board to supply AC power to the outlets, and also for a battery charger, which is underneath the nav station there to charge our batteries when we're in a slip. From the batteries, we supply the DC source over to the right side of that panel, which is the distribution for our lights, so nav lights, steaming lights, anchor light, and then also just simple things like cabin lights, the macerator for the wastewater, the water pump, and also that there's a bilge switch there to pump out the bilges. It's a manual switch. In the middle of those 2 panels is the switch that controls the batteries. So right now it's set on all, so we would be drawing current from both sides. If you're going to go off and leave the boat for an extended period of time, you'd probably want to turn that to off. In some cases, some people turn it to 1 or 2 when they're underway, so that they're just discharging on one set of batteries. You want to find out on your boat which one is the main battery and which one is the engine start. Okay, and again, you want to think about the AC as being on the left side on this panel, and the house and DC system is on the right. Okay. I might add that when we hook up the power to the shore, you want to make sure that you have both ends turned off, especially that one on shore. Plug it in and then go ahead and turn on the power, just as a safety precaution. And here we have our diesel engine. From this angle you can see the heat exchanger and where we add oil. On the heat exchanger, for a boat, it's going to draw raw water from the outside, bring it in through a strainer, through what we call an impeller that's on the front of the engine. You can't see from this angle. Circulating water through the heat exchanger so that it cools down the internal water for the engine to be cooled. Also from this angle you can see the injectors on top of the engine over here. The injectors are what squirt at a high pressure the diesel into the cylinders, and the compression from those cylinders is actually what that ignites and drives the engine. There's no spark plug naturally on a diesel engine. The wind's blowing you over. You don't want to get too close to this boat. Because all it takes is a big puff of wind and it'll knock you right into it. You want to keep your distance.
You probably wouldn't like it. You'd be sitting there watching this happen very much.
Boom, or if it's something else. Okay, give it a little more fuel. Or if it's to keep boats.
Is that seat though?
No, that's bridge maintenance. So when you get up here, where that current, so just as you get kind of out here, just before you get out of those last two, you want to angle it that way, because you'll see that tide's going to just,
right.
You don't want to get too close to this post that it's going to knock into.
Catch is pretty good.
Yeah, so stay over on your side of the channel. You got